Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, today in this video lesson we are going to revise chapter 5 Indigo written by Louis Fisher. As you all are aware that this story Indigo is about Champaran Movement. How the peasant of Champaran were being exploited by British landlord. When Rajkumar Shukla came to Lucknow and he requested Gandhiji to visit Champaran, Gandhiji asked him, as his schedule was very busy, he could not go with him, but he told him that he would be meeting him in Calcutta, which is now Kolkata. Rajkumar Shukla waited Gandhiji at the place where Gandhiji told him to meet him. Later, when Gandhiji arrived, they both left for Champaran. Then how British landlords, the British administration, they wanted Gandhiji to go back. He was arrested there, but finally he fought for the peasant of Champaran and they won the battle. So what was the problem with the peasant of the Champaran? They had to grow indigo on 25% of land as per an agreement. Later, when Germany discovered synthetic indigo, the British landlords wanted compensation to free the farmers of Champaran from this agreement. So this was the battle between the peasant and British landlords. So let us go through the detailed summary of the lesson once again, and later once we have finished summary, we will discuss last year's previous year's questions, previous year's board examination questions which were asked from this lesson. So let's begin. The Life of Mahatma Gandhi by Louis Fisher. According to Gandhiji, justice that love gives is a surrender. Justice that love gives is a surrender. Justice that law gives is a punishment. A Week with Gandhi by Louis Fisher. Louis Fisher was an American-born journalist, believed Gandhi. He believed that Gandhi, who was born in 1869 and passed away in 1948, was the greatest individual of the 28th century, if not the 20 centuries. And even though this may have been the only statement of subjectivism he injected into his biography, it is not enough to ascertain what he thought of the man. Gandhi had helped overcome many stereotypes in a racially segregated South Africa. He, along with his disciples, also gained independence for India, which was under British rule, and on an individual level showed human beings that a life of peace is attainable if one manages to transcend their ego and desires. The author's journalistic experience allows him to refrain him blind adoration of the man and instead offers some of his flaws and weaknesses, surprisingly describing some of his facial features as ugly. The description of Gandhi's outward appearance as well as his inward state paint a vivid picture of him, leaving the reader with nothing but love and reverence for this little man. Nevertheless, the author's intimate knowledge of the man, coupled with his lucid and simple prose, make a biography that can be read over and over again. This biography is an extraordinary account of how one man's unconquerable spirit inspired a population to triumph over tyranny. Tyranny. Indigo by Louis Fisher. Indigo by Louis Fisher, 1896 to 1970. Theme: the leadership shown by Mahatma Gandhi to secure justice for oppressed people through convincing argumentation and negotiation. Sub-theme: contributions made by anonymous Indians to the freedom movement. This is the YouTube link through which you can visit and see the complete story. Champaran Movement. Here some pictures are Champaran Movement which you can see on your screen. And you must have heard about Champaran Movement in your political science and history book. Champaran Satyagraha. These are the pictures of Champaran Movement. Now you can see where Champaran was located. This is Purvi Champaran, Bihar, Paschim Champaran. Here in the map you can see Champaran, which is in Bihar. This is Indigo, about which this complete lesson which we are going to read. This is about indigo crop, which you can see on your screen. You can see how the farmers, the peasant, used to grow indigo in their fields, in their farms. The indigo problem. Germany had developed synthetic indigo. The price of the commercial crop was to crash down. The Britishers asked for the compensation to release them from the agreement of the sharecroppers, 50% of indigo harvest. Indian sharecroppers learnt about the synthetic indigo India sharecroppers asked their money back. They went to courts. Champaran Satyagraha. 18th April 1917. Appeared in the Code of Sub-Divisional Magistrate of Motihari and gave historic statement of reason for not obeying the order. Case was adjourned till 21st April. 19th April. In protest against the order of leaving the district, Executive Committee of Bihar Purvanchal Union decided to send a letter to Viceroy. 28th April. Government ordered for withdrawal of case against Gandhiji and instructed the district collector for making arguments during his inquiry period. First victory of Satyagraha in Champaran. 10th June. Formation of inquiry committee. Subject and name of 7 members announced. Gandhiji was one of the members. Main points of the story, Indigo. Rajkumar Shukla apprised Gandhiji of injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. Rajkumar Shukla, one of the sharecroppers. Gandhiji was busy, but Rajkumar Shukla followed him unless he promised to visit Champaran. Gandhiji, on his way to Muzaffarpur, stopped at house of Rajendra Prasad. Met J.B. Kriplani for more information. Meeting advocates in Muzaffarpur and chided them. Sharecropping system oppresses the farmers. So chided them for what? For imposing a high fee. Introduction of synthetic indigo in Germany led to extortion of money from the peasants of landlords. Gandhi's arrival in Champaran, meeting with the representatives of landlord and commissioner of Tirahut. His clash with police superintendent and summoned to appear in the court. His plea admits he was facing the conflict of duties. Demonstration of thousands of peasants. Helplessness of the British government plans jail bharo andolan with the help of lawyers. British dropped the case against Gandhiji, thus the Battle of Champaran won. His clash with police superintendent and summoned to appear in the court, his plea admits he was facing the conflict of duties. So point number 10 has been repeated here once again. Demonstration by thousands of peasants, helplessness of the British government, plans jail bharo andolan with the help of lawyers. British dropped the case against Gandhiji, thus the Battle of Champaran won. Report of official commission inquiry. refund of 25% of money, landlord surrender, peasants gain courage, learn he has defenders and rights. Social work, education, health, and cleanliness in the village addressed by Gandhiji. Champaran episode became a turning point in Gandhiji's life. Development and attitude of self-reliance among the people, lawyers. Peasants and workers' movements. Champaran Satyagraha in Bihar in 1917. Kheda movement in Gujarat in March 1918. Patidar Peasant Network and Gandhiji's attempt to consolidate peasant support base. Ahmedabad strike among mill workers in March 1918. Rowlatt Act and opposition to the Act. All India strike on 30th March and later postponed to 6th March. Gandhiji's connection with the pan-Islamic groups and Caliphate issue. Punjab rebellion and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Gandhi emerging as all India leader. Rumor of coming of Mahatma, great soul. Mahatma Gandhi question: what was the Champaran Satyagraha, or name the first Satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi in India? Champaran Satyagraha was the first Satyagraha of Gandhiji in India. Indigo cultivator of Champaran, Bihar visited Gandhiji in 1970 to take up their issue of Tingthia system with British government. District authorities of Champaran banned Gandhiji's entry. As a protest, Gandhiji offered Satyagraha, well known as Champaran Satyagraha. Gandhiji with Louis Fisher. You can see on your screen in this slide the man who is wearing the coat pant and with tie is Louis Fisher. So these are the different movements. It has been taken from your political science book. Blue Rebellion. Thousands of riots in Bengal refused to grow indigo in March 1859. The riots refused to pay rents to the planters. They attacked indigo factories. They used to be armed with swords and spears, bows and arrows. Women also fought with pots, panda and kitchen implements. Those who worked for the planters were socially boycotted. The Gomesthas were beaten up and they came to collect rent. The Gomesthas were the agents of indigo planters. In many villages, headmen mobilized the indigo peasants against the Lathials. The headmen were angry because they had been forced to sign indigo contract. Some zamindars were angry with the increasing power of the planters and at being forced to give them land on long losses. So some zamindars also supported the villagers in their revolt against the indigo planters. After the revolt, the indigo production collapsed in Bengal. After the revolt, the planters now sniffed their operation to Bihar. Discovery of synthetic dyes in the late 19th century severely affected the business. But the planters managed to expand production. When Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa, the plight of indigo farmers in Champaran was brought to his notice. Mahatma Gandhi visited Champaran in 1917 and began the movement against the indigo planters. At the age of 13, Mohandas was married to Kasturba. The marriage had been arranged for him by his family. They had 4 sons. This is Rajkumar Shukla, picture of whom issued on the ticket of India government letter. This is Champaran Satyagraha century. This is also Indian ticket, Indian Post Office ticket. Be the change. Thank you for watching this video. Surely this video is going to be very helpful. So we have just finished the summary of indigo. Already line by line explanation has been done. So we discussed each and every point of the lesson with the help of PPT. So you have to jot down the complete summary in your notebook. It must be noted down there in your notebook. In the next video lesson, we will discuss questions which have been asked in previous year's board examination from this lesson, Indigo. So once again, dear students, thank you all for watching this video. See you tomorrow.